Hi everyone, Andy here. I'm here at Radio Row in New Orleans ahead of the Super Bowl on Sunday, and I'm here with two guests. I'm here with both Kevin and Eric, who are the director and producer of the new show Beneath the Shadow, which is all about former Chiefs tackle Jim Tyrer, who is now potentially going to be in the Hall of Fame, and they call him the greatest ever player never to be in the Hall of Fame. First of all, thank you guys for joining the show.
You bet. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So, obviously, Kevin, you're the director, Eric, you're the producer. What gave you the inspiration to sort of make this show?
That this man, this Chiefs player, just a phenomenal athlete, was a star, was a shoe-in for the Hall of Fame, first ballot, that he's been forgotten, for one thing, and that he has not been considered for 45 years, and also that the tragic way his life ended, we have the correct lens to see what happened now. At the time, people didn't know what to do, and if they did do anything with it, it's like, well, it must have changed, or he must have been evil, or we just never knew it. He was always that guy, and of course, we now know that was incorrect narrative. It's a great opportunity to set the record straight.
Was that sort of bring any challenges in terms of directing or producing it, in terms of that side of it, in terms of the sensitive nature of it involves death, it involves that's happened. Did that sort of bring any challenges in terms of when you were planning to make it?
Yeah, for sure. The Tyrer family. So 6 years after he retired, really quick change in his personality for the worse. I was surprised, and then it's a tragic incident. Killed his wife and turned a gun on himself, leaving behind 4 kids. So obviously, as we attempt to tell the story, this film, it's incumbent upon us to do that as respectfully as we can. Huge tragedy, of course, and so certainly that plays a role into how we go about telling the story. But we found out pretty quickly in working with these people that they're amazing individuals, and their story, how they survived this tragedy, and then also how quickly the rest of the family, everyone around Jim, forgave him because they knew that something had quickly changed. It was long before we had information about brain injuries that we have now. And so yes, we had to take into account that aspect to try to tell the story in a respectful way, but also to not shy away from this conversation that needs to happen throughout this sport and many sports. And it's happening. That it's changing. So much so that here we are. He's back on the Hall of Fame ballot, and we're going to find out this week.
I think interesting. Yeah, and of course, it's one of those ones where sport was a lot more brutal back in the day, but I think with the rise of chat about CT, I think since players, not going to names, who they are, sort of thing was just the games associated with CT, and I think there's a lot more awareness, but maybe there wasn't quite the awareness maybe back in the day when it was more a brutal sport. So it's there was none. Yeah. So it's
right. Yeah, in many ways, I took Jim Tyrer, his position, the number of years that he played, the way that he played, the fact that he had an enormous head. They didn't have a home that was fitting. They had to retrofit it. He is a data point by himself as far as a risk category. He is patient zero for brain trauma, for CTE. And he's the first one that he saw this huge market change that, he committed a crime that it wasn't him. And you're walking this line of, gosh, we don't want to talk about this. It's not convenient. Well, he gave his life to the school. You owe it to him and his kids to talk about it, because that's the right thing to do, and also because you're going to learn from it. And taking the easy route is not always the most inspirational or most beneficial or most the opportunity to learn is by going through the hard stuff, and I think that was true for the kids, and it's absolutely true for the sport of football.
Now, of course, we all know the kind of player, like you've seen looking at the particular honours, 9 Pro Bowls, 6 first-team All-Pro selections, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl 4 champion, 3-time AFL champion. He's in the All-Decade team in a full 14-year career that had 180 consecutive starts. Now, there'll be a lot of people watching this that won't know who he is or maybe won't remember him. How would you sort of describe him as a player? Maybe is there a player, a modern-day tackle that you'd sort of compare him to as a kind of as a player?
Yeah, I actually mentioned this to a current voter. I said, "Boy, he's Jason Kelsey, isn't he?" And Fred Urbana said, the tight end on the team at the time, "It's Travis and Jason Kelsey. That's who these guys are." And the voter said, "Well, no offense to Jason, Tyler was better than Jason was." So that's kind of how I see it. Is that God forbid something would happen to these guys. It is a different time, and but I think that is the lens to look at it through. That's the impact that would have. That society knows who those guys are right now, and they would hate for something to go. That's how hard it hit at that time. And hard it hit the fake line was as if they were.
I think you see with players like Tua these days, we get these concussions, and I think the awareness for having Tua. Do you think that with the rise of like Guardian helmets that some players, not all players are wearing in the field at the moment, do you think this whole program is going to really raise even more attention to the players that actually played in sport? Maybe that will give a rise. I will see an increase in people wearing the Guardian helmets.
I think so. There's efforts made. The NFL is attempting, I think honestly attempting to try to improve the sport for the safety. Our show, our documentary, does not go into that aspect. And for Beneath the Shadow, the story that we're telling is one of forgiveness from the family, and then still raising the awareness about this conversation, but in a way that tries to bring in some more complexity into the discussion. Safety, helmets, safety, gear, different rules helps, I'm sure, but it's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about the ability to understand what happened to him, what happened to his family, and what could potentially happen to other families and other players too. The details of the technology is important. I think even as equal, in my view, way important is to delve into these stories of who these family are, to humanize the experience and how amazing the Tyrer kids were able to come out of this experience. And that's the fascinating human aspect that we're trying to show. And just by chance, not by chance, I could say by the chance of Kevin's exploration into this story was really instrumental in changing a lot of the voters' minds to get him to this point, to get him to where he's this close. And so that's what we're coming from.
When I say those Guardian helmets, the thing that comes to my mind is that individual knows these stories. They're doing it because I'm aware what can happen if I'm not more intentional about the way I go about things.
If you make Canton, will you be there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Everything. So this is an exciting week. I mean, even in the past year, there were articles that said this is the greatest player that's not in the Hall of Fame, and 0% chance that he will be considered. They were wrong, and they've been wrong for a long time. And so, you tell the story. It's like you're on an enormous ship and you're putting your wooden oar into the water, and like, what do you know? We're starting to turn. So
they took information. They took information to get this out there.
Exactly.
No one, including Jim's family, condones his actions. One crisis, it's universal. Of course, that was a horrible thing, a horrible experience. But is looking into why, and Kevin's research, finding the doctor that he saw 2 days before the murder suicide, finding his chaplain who talked about Jim saying he's thinking he was paranoid, losing his teeth. These are all standard CTE experiences that we will understand now, but we didn't know that. And so, again, it's just more awareness. I think more of the writers were hoping, talking with you and other people and through our show, Beneath Shadow, we're hoping to spread more of this information and also hopefully tell an inspiring story about a family who not only survived, but thrived. We're amazing people who come through this. And also, we hope write a legacy that has been forgotten. And that absolutely includes Martha Tucker. It's kind of beautiful that in all the research that we did in the investigation, ultimately it was what Martha Tyrer told the doctor 2 days before. That's what changed the course of the candidacy. But I think it's beautiful that the wife who was, paid the ultimate price, it was her words that are making things right now. So yeah, she is, she's the forgotten part of the story, or has been, and won't be anymore.
Now, it would be remiss of me to not mention the game on Sunday. We'll hear, of course, it is Jim's old team as well on the Chiefs. What are your thoughts out of the game on Sunday?
They're different.
No, I know. I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Okay.
Kevin is. I'll out you right here. He's from Kansas City. It's baked in. We know what's going on there. But I think it will be a very good game.
That's great. So, for those who are, watching at home, where can they, when the show is released, where can they find it?
Well, right now they can go to, just if you search Beneath the Shadow, it's going to come up. You could also go to my Eric Frith. .com will be at the very top of that page. We in discussions with different outlets right now of where it will be seen. Like I said, we're still shooting, obviously, to see what's going to happen at this stage with the project. We expect it to be a limited documentary miniseries. And if they go to that site, it'll stay in touch with that name Beneath the Shadow. They'll be able to find it. And we hope to have that information soon.
Get prepared to binge.
Yeah.
You'll watch for an hour and can't believe this. Yeah, I've binged in my that town.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. And don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe to our podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.